There we go.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad.
I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm only going to take a few minutes of your time. And I just want to first off say thank you so much for all that you're doing. It really is few and far between, and especially in the health and fitness industry, I think it's really important what you're doing. And so I want to personally thank you.
Thank you. It's I look at it as what we're doing is more of a duty than anything. So.
Well, I think that we'll just get right into it. Walk me through these first few months of COVID for you at your gym and in your community, and how you handled that. If you closed your gym.
Yeah, so, everybody knows the story, 14 days to slow the spread or whatever, flatten the curve, whatever cute little public health nonsense you want to put forth. So, unwillingly, we shut down our business because at the time there wasn't enough information available to stay open. But my business partner and I never stopped working, and we started paying attention. We were paying attention to COVID, the science, how it was spread, what the actual effects were, what the numbers were in the hospitals, what the numbers were in the nursing homes, what the numbers were as far as death tolls, how the PCR tests were being run. And we started paying attention to the politics. And on day 11 of the 14-day shutdown, when they passed the single biggest economic stimulus bill to the tune of $2.6 trillion, that was a big red flag for us because we read the bill, or as much as we could. And it was politics as usual and then some. We found a part in the bill that was a huge red flag for us, and that was that they were essentially incentivizing cases, not hospital cases, not hospital beds, but there was federal money going to states for every positive PCR test that came back. And for us, that was a little weird, and that was red flag number one, and then the rest came. And at about 5 weeks in, Frank and I looked at each other. We were in the gym every day, sort of learning and trying to stay busy and trying to prepare for life on the other side when they would allow us to reopen. And week 5, Frank looked at me and he said, they're not going to open us. I'm not going to do it until the end of the summer. I want to open. So I looked at him and said, let's do it. And 3 weeks later, we did. We reopened the gym to a huge group of support outside. I think it was really the right message at the right time and the right way of going about it. We went very public about it because we knew we were going to face resistance with the government, and sure as hell on day 1, we were met with resistance, and that continued to escalate. It went from citations from local police. It went to citations not only for us, but for our customers. It went to our customers being arrested. And then it just continued to go from there. We got a health department shut down. We ignored it. We had a court order shut down. They physically locked our doors. And then it just really escalated from there. When they came in and locked our doors in the middle of the night without ever stepping foot inside of our building, essentially condemning it, saying that coronavirus was just festering inside of it, that's when it was very, very clear to us that government was not going to play nice, that it was not about compromise. It was about control. And it escalated from there. And here we are coming up on a year and a half later, and we're still very much an enemy of the state here in New Jersey. Governor Murphy has made it very personal. We've been fined hundreds of thousands of dollars with hundreds of thousands on back end. We have criminal charges. We're facing time in prison at this point. Nonetheless, we are open every single day, no matter what. And we have about 700 healthy, happy people come through on a daily basis. And that was the goal, was to not shut down. In the lack of science and data, they've used that term and they throw it about, but they never throw out the actual science and data. So we stay open no matter what.
That's awesome. Very similar story to what myself and some people here in California are going through. At the beginning, were you wearing masks? Like, did you have masks on when you were at your gym?
So we had a very extensive safety protocol that we created for ourselves. And the objective was to go so far above and beyond at the time what Big Box was required to do that it would be essentially be laughable to shut us down, because Big Box was open from the start, and it was slap a face covering, not even a mask. And that's in the language of their executive orders. They say face coverings and not masks. And that's very, very different verbiage, meaning two very different things. You could at least have an argument. Masks work, masks don't work. Our choice on that would be that they don't. However, you can't even begin to argue that face coverings work. Face coverings is laughable. So in the beginning, we had this very extensive program. Big Box, all you had to do was put a mask on your face, and you took temperatures for like a week. And they did capacity limits for a week, and then you wipe your cart down with a Lysol wipe, and all of a sudden everything's okay. So we took it so far beyond that it would be laughable that they would shut us down. We brought in Class 2 medical devices that clean the air just using oxygen and hydrogen. These are running around the clock. They circulate the air at 30,000 cubic square feet per minute. So on and so forth. And we did include masks in the beginning. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You went above and beyond.
So far above and beyond that it was ridiculous. And we did put a mask procedure in place where our customers at first were required to wear a mask when they were not actively doing something. Admittedly, at this point, it's safe to say that was theatrics. We knew we were going to be taking a lot of heat from the outside. So we didn't want to appear to be any more reckless than what the woke COVID mob was already going to paint us. That was only the first week. And then after that, once government stopped playing nice and they wouldn't even look at our safety protocol, we got rid of the theatrics and kept the meat and potatoes.
Perfect. So tell me about your gym now, like how you're working your dues. I know that, here in San Benito County in California, I have my gear from your gym to show my support. So tell me a little bit about that and how you work your membership dues and your merchandise.
So when we shut down, we suspended our billing and we have not billed a member since then. When we originally reopened, it was never about money. Sure, we wanted to save our business, but the bigger thing was that the gym was just a vessel through which we were fighting through. Our whole premise was that the idea of essential and non-essential businesses was bogus, and that anybody could put a sensible protocol into place during a quote-unquote pandemic where they could keep people safe and healthy. So it wasn't about the money. So we didn't charge anybody. And then in August, right before, actually about 10 days, I think, or so, before Governor Murphy reopened the gym, the Township of Belmar stripped our business license. So when the gyms reopened, we stayed free. And we relied on the amazing membership base we have and the amazing support system, not only around the state of New Jersey, but around the country to donate. And our t-shirt sales sort of took off. What started as a couple of people in the beginning saying, hey, I'd love to contribute, like, can I buy some merch? Turned into us selling more t-shirts than I can count at this point. We've sent them to all 50 states multiple times over in 17 countries around the world. And we find a way to make it work in the meantime. We're able to just sort of barely make it work. We keep the lights on, we keep the gym going, we pay our bills in advance, and we have just enough money to kind of get through the court system as we go. And we're very thankful for that. And it's only because people believe in what we're doing. You know what I mean? And know that what we set out to do was something that had the best intentions of everybody in heart. And that's why we have this amazing support system.
Awesome. I know that this, your gym is your vessel, your passion. You believe in the health and fitness and the life that you live. I follow you on Instagram and all that good stuff. Tell me what it is you're fighting for. What is it that's your passion and why you feel it's important to stand up?
Well, overnight, they tricked Americans into surrendering a bulk of their, what I would call our essential freedoms, our constitutional freedoms, our God-given rights. And Frank and I looked around at how quickly the world had changed in just a matter of weeks, and we don't want to leave a world like this to our children, to our families, because the American way of life is the greatest. It's the best. I mean, this is the only country, one of the only countries in the world where you can start at the bottom, and if you make good choices, actually no matter where you start in the middle class, if you make good choices, you spend your money wisely, you plan ahead, you surround yourself with like-minded people who want to advance, and you work hard, you will end up in a better place. And that's only because of the system that we have here. It's not a perfect system, but it's certainly the best one. And overnight, that system was starting to disappear. We got slipped the old Marxist propaganda pill with our younger generation, and you brought in all of this COVID nonsense where they decentralized hard work with and normalized government handouts at a level that we've never witnessed. And that wasn't for us. That's not the America we love. It's not the America that I want to live in, and it's not the America that I want, my children to live in. So.
Well, something that really has stood out for me is that you're a man. All of the people that I've connected with around the country, I've been arrested in my county. It's really only women that are standing up and being vocal. So why do you think that it's important that more men stand up and speak and get involved in our local politics?
Well, it is. It's not only important. I think it's absolutely crucial. As a man, your primary role in any level of society, whether it be the family unit, the community unit, the region unit, or the country, is you're a protector. That's your only job. Because if you're not doing that job, you can't do any of the other jobs, like be a father, be a husband, be a provider, anything like that. If you can't protect the things that are important to you, then you're failing as a man. And one of the things that I first noticed when this all kicked off was every protest I went to, no matter where I went, women always outnumbered men, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, or even more. And that was a big concern for me because, women have amazing skill sets. They network, they organize, they're great communicators. They're not supposed to be on the front lines of any battle. They are the system which supports men being strong. Without a strong group of women behind you that facilitate men to, or allow men to be strong, you can't have strong men. They're the backbone of that family unit or that community unit. The women are the ones that make it all possible. But the men have to step up, and the men go to the front lines. The men are supposed to be the ones in the trenches, at the courthouses and the state houses and fighting. And they're not at an alarming rate. And you're seeing sort of a resurgence of it, but I don't think it's fast enough. I think more men need to get involved, and they need to take back that role. Society has sort of pushed them away from it. They've kept men very docile. Men are supposed to be aggressive. Men are supposed to confront things that are wrong. And we've got a society of men that are scared to speak out because for so many years they've been chastised for using their voice. You've heard the term toxic masculinity thrown around. So I think a lot of men are just, they don't want to be bothered by it because they're afraid of the backlash. But in reality, you're needed more than ever.
I agree, and that was really the motivation that that had me compelled to reach out to you, and I'm hopeful that starting just where I live locally, because I think that's where we can make the biggest difference is locally. I was hoping to have a little conversation with a man who is standing up and is setting the example. I know that you're going to be speaking soon, so if you could tell us a little bit about where you're speaking in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, so actually tomorrow I'm heading up to Hartford, Connecticut. They're having a rally at the State House. So I'm going to go up and speak there, and that's just a rally, just sort of, nothing's actually, Connecticut actually just lost their religious exemption. But nothing's on the floor right now about mandating vaccines. This is more so making sure that the individuals who work in the Capitol know that they are being watched very closely, and that the presence of people who don't want these things is going to stay in their face and very, very present and very vocal. So I'll be heading up to Hartford, Connecticut. That's running from 12 and on tomorrow. And then next weekend, not this one coming up, next weekend, I'll be heading down to Tampa for Clay Clark's Health and Freedom Conference. That's actually the second one. His first one was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. I was blown away that he pulled off such a huge event with such great energy. It was probably the first big event that I had been to in the wake of Trump being out of office, where you felt that same type of energy when Trump was in office. And that was something that, for especially somebody like me and many others who have kind of been in the fight for so long and do at times feel battle fatigued, it was awesome. It was awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this next one. It's going to be about twice the size. You got about 4,500 people at the first one in Oklahoma, and in Tampa we have 10,000 tickets, and actually just got the message from them today that we are sold out. So it's going to be awesome. You know, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to getting to hear some of the other speakers. It's a huge lineup of just some really exceptional people, and we're gonna knock the socks off them down in Tampa.
Awesome. Well, I'm hopeful. There's been a couple counties around here in California where we're trying to plan that. We have a lot of haters against us here in California, but our conservative voice hopefully can be strong and grow. So hopefully we can have you out here and we'll get to meet in person. But I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope to meet you in person soon.
All righty. Thank you.
Have a great day.